Well, the Tundra woes continue. This Tundra caught on fire on the road. I actually have some really crazy footage of this. Check this out. So this is from Jay Russo. He says, seems my original post from 20 minutes ago was deleted, not by me, so I'm posting this again. So this happened to me yesterday. Only had her 6 months, brought it to the dealership last week. After smelling plastic burning smell, they said they couldn't find anything. The fire chief was there and said the fire looked like it had started in the cabin side of the firewall, but did permeate to the engine compartment area. This was a 2024 Tundra Hybrid Platinum. So here's the first video of it burning. At least the horn's still working. Good job to the horn engineers. And here's a walk around of the cabin. You can see the cab is just completely baked, toasted. It has vapor. Good news is the firewall did its job. It's just the wrong direction.
So where was the fire, you said? Right down in here?
Yeah.
He's talking about the cab.
Holy crap.
So see kind of how what's left?
Oh my God.
Most of it is probably right in the center of
That's where the smoke was.
So you can see that the fire did probably start in the cab. It's crazy though. He actually said that he took it into the dealership because he smelled plastic burning. So anybody out there, if you have one of these Tundras and you smell plastic burning at some point, man, get it checked, show this video to the dealership. You don't want to end up in this situation if you can avoid it. It's probably just some electrical short somewhere. And actually, upon further inspection, when you look at this, it actually wasn't a hybrid. He said it was a hybrid in the post, but it wasn't. There's no high voltage cables under the hood here. But then that begs the question, why the heck did the cab just completely light on fire? I mean, that's nuts to have this happen without hybrid batteries stored under the back seat or without something to burn and pop like that. That's crazy. I wonder, maybe he had a charger in the car, maybe had one of those big Halo battery packs in the car. I don't know what would cause this. That you have to let me know in the comments what you think. There was one other Tundra that caught on fire. It was probably 6 months ago, but that was on the engine side and completely different scenario. It was a non-hybrid, but started with the fuel system, I believe. And then I found this. What do you guys think the odds are of the 3rd gen Tundra hitting 1 million miles without new turbos or major work done to the engine? Do you think a 3rd gen can hit 1 million miles like the old 2nd gen? This is a 2019 2nd gen Tundra, 1 million miles on the original motor, serviced by the dealership. There's a picture of the 19 Tundra. I'm guessing he probably got another new Tundra. Be interesting to see if he can get it to 1 million miles. It's these hotshot drivers that really put the mileage on them. Here's another gentleman with a TRD Pro. He says it's a 2024. Let's listen to this engine. He said it had 37,000 miles on it. Truck died. It said shift to park, then had nothing at all for 15 minutes. Started back up. Made it home roughly 5 minutes down the highway. Engine is now knocking like crazy. Not looking good. Crank walk. And I saw this poor guy. How mad would you be if this was your Tundra leaking water like this? Look at this. Ugh. Terrible. And here's another story from Zach Willie. So here's my story. He says 2024 1794 edition hybrid engine failure at 14,000 miles. And here's what the engine sounded like.
I'm scared.
See, even she's scared. Even a kid knows. And here's the video of his seat shaking. It's vibrating pretty bad. Sounds like a diesel. And hey, at least the admins are still allowing these types of posts because I think it's valuable to you, the consumer. I purchased in early March 2024, build date 12/23. Engine failed on March 19th, 2025. I had the TRD lift installed with 34 Nitto Ridge grapplers on stock TRD off-road wheels. I had my first oil change at 3,800 miles. The service interval is 10,000 miles, so trying to be precautious So this guy essentially changed his oil at 3,800 miles and at 5,000 miles, and he was actually getting a low oil indication light at one of his oil changes, so he had it changed again for free at the dealer. He said he also noticed engine noise. He got out to make sure it was his truck and not the cars parked next to him. It was his. He got back in the truck, the dash lit up, so he immediately turned it off. Probably has the lovely crank walk issue. He went out and pulled out onto the road. He said he had maybe had 20 to 40% of the original power that he used to have, so it was obviously down on power. I personally would still stay away from these trucks. I most certainly wouldn't buy a used one without a very long, really reliable extended warranty. If you're going to buy a used one of these trucks, man, get the best warranty you can and try to get it thrown in for free, because I don't think that it's worth buying these. I know it's not every one of them that's failing, but yeah, it's not looking great. It's still happening. And then this poor guy, J.R. Jones, he said the dealership dropped his transmission while replacing his hybrid system motor. So the problem is the hybrid system motors, I've seen a lot of them die on these. I don't know why. Must have dropped it, from probably 5-6 feet in the air. So now he had to get a new transmission as well. And then this poor guy, is that Jorge Delfonso? I don't know. You guys will have to let me know if I pronounced that right. Said, well, it happened to me, 26,000 miles, switched lanes at 55 miles an hour and check engine light, loss of power, low steering, tried to restart and it smelled like the starter was burning, calling dealer tomorrow. A warning, I did smell the burning smell with the auto start stop previously. If that helps give you some hints, the engine is going. Apparently he did have an engine failure. And there are still 2022s, 2023s failing, but most of them are being replaced with the new crate engines. However, this guy, 18 days after purchase, it does have a CPO, 32,000 miles, and then it started getting a tick and then a knock. And he said that the oil pressure gauge was dancing and he barely had any power, so it looks like probably a new engine on that one. And if you are wondering, yes, people are still buying the Tundras like hotcakes because General Motors has massive engine problems and transmission problems. Ford has engine problems and transmission problems, and everybody's got their problems. So people think, hey, I'm going to just get the one that I like the looks of and I like the ride, and they trust Toyota more from a name perspective. Here's Austin taking delivery of this one today, Lunar Rock. Here's another guy looking for advice to see if this is a good deal. He thinks his trade is pretty decent, but here's another one, March 25th. Just picked up his 25 Limited today. And here's Chris. He said he bought his 2025 a few weeks ago. He's a first-time Toyota owner switching from GM, loves the truck, wants to know what we think about this deal. $70,000 out the door. Feels like he maybe could have got them lower. Yeah, $1,131 a month. I could tell you what I think of this deal, but I don't think my channel would remain a family style channel with no swearing. So I'll just hold back on that one. And here's another one just 8 hours ago. Got the 25 Limited TRD Off-Road iForce Max. Sure has the pep. So some happy people out there. Still selling like crazy. And there are still some of the good stories out there, like this guy picked up his Tundra from the Toyota dealer. He has the newly installed engine. The process only took 2 days. They actually ship these crate engines with everything on them, oil included. So really, it's just a swap for the techs. It's actually becoming pretty efficient. But this was done at 45,000 miles. He didn't have a problem on his original. So not all of them are affected. However, I do think this will reset the clock on a lot of those initial problems. So we should start seeing fewer failures come in, but the 2024s and 2025s aren't included in the recall. So that's what I'm seeing more of now is actually newer ones having issues, not the old ones, because the old ones are getting new engines. And back to that fire problem I showed you at the beginning. Really, there's only been 2 that I found that were like lit on fire Tundras. One was I believe a 2022 non-hybrid, and then the one today that I saw that was a non-hybrid, which is odd. You would think the hybrids would have more fire incidents, but they don't. The only recall that Toyota had was for the fuel line back above the fuel tank. That was the only recall related to a fire or related to a fire hazard. So yeah, who knows if this is going to become some problem or if there's some batch of them that will have a short in the cab, but I don't think it's a widespread problem. And lastly, just remember, if you park your truck outside, check under the hood for cats. Thanks for watching. Till next time.